A lot of people have been criticizing Paul Saladino for coming out with his new diet. And it seems like now he's eating ice cream and he's telling people it's a health food and he no longer recommends keto or long-term ketosis. I'm going to play some of these video clips up here in the corner, or, full screen maybe. And I want you guys to listen to these videos, and then I'm going to have my response. In the meantime, I'm just going to freeze frame this so that I'm smiling and I don't just look there, sit there silly and going like this. If you guys don't know me, I'm Dr. Allo. I'm a double board certified cardiologist. I'm also a certified personal trainer. I've written books on weight loss, diet, nutrition, exercise, all that stuff. So I know what I'm talking about. I also did an interview with Paul Saladino, but here we go. I'm going to play the clips for you. Listen to both of them, and then we'll dive into it. We'll take a really deep dive.
Check this out, you guys. Ice cream can be a health food, but you have to read the ingredients. Tillamook ice cream. Look at all the ingredients on there. Very long list of ingredients, but there's another ice cream here that's incredible. Check this out. I found this ice cream for bears or humans, that only has milk, honey, cream, and egg yolks, along with some vanilla bean extract in this flavor. Look at that. 2 years into the carnivore diet, I started noticing persistence of unpleasant symptoms. So testosterone dropped to around 500 total, sleep disturbances, palpitations, muscle cramps when I was surfing or climbing. And I started to think, okay, maybe long-term ketosis is not great for me. And I was definitely in ketosis at the time, monitoring blood ketones with a meter, not deep ketosis, but definitely ketosis. And so at that point, I started to dig into the research a little bit more and understood that insulin signaling is critical at the level of the kidney to hold on to minerals, to hold on to potassium, calcium, sodium, chloride, magnesium, and that in long-term ketosis in most humans, you're going to become so electrolyte depleted that it's almost impossible to resolve that with enormous amounts of electrolytes, right? You can take all of the electrolytes you want. You can do so much salt. Your body's really not going to be able to hold on to those without some sort of an insulin signal at the level of the kidney. I've experienced this. Tons of people experience this with long-term ketosis. So at that point, I had to really kind of look at what I was doing and make this sort of learning judgment that long-term ketosis was not a great thing for me and probably not a great thing for most humans. And
so in this first clip, Paul Saladino talks about ice cream can be a health food. And he's talking about it's just whole milk, a little bit of vanilla bean extract, and some honey. And he says that this can be absolutely healthy. He is a big fan of honey. That's his main source of carbohydrates, along with some fruits. And he likes milk, full fat milk, and he's eating ice cream. Now, me personally, if you've read any of my stuff, read Actual Weight Loss, my books, my videos, if you've watched my ultimate weight loss playlist on YouTube here, you will have a PhD in weight loss. All the science and nutrition and all the studies and all the data are in there. You're welcome to go read them and look it up. Personally, I don't have any food phobias. I don't believe we should have food phobias. Every food can be used as a tool. Now, obviously, you should not be eating Pop-Tarts and Doritos all day and Oreos all day. No one is suggesting that. Please don't take that away as your takeaway. Eating whole, basically Mediterranean style food is the most recommended diet. It's the most tested diet. The DASH diet is similar, but it's just a little stricter with the alcohol and salt. It's a low salt, no alcohol diet. Mediterranean can vary by who's defining it. My version of Mediterranean is also very low salt and no alcohol. So having food phobias or labeling food as moral, like this food is absolutely unhealthy and can never be healthy, or this food is absolutely unhealthy and can never be healthy, is absolutist. It's super restrictive and it doesn't allow a lot of flexibility. How can junk food be healthy? So for example, and I'll give you an example, there are ways in which certain foods that you would consider not healthy can be healthy. So like for example, these Nerds clusters, they are freaking amazing. These Nerd clusters can be used as a tool. For example, we were fasting and we were going to a soccer tournament in Cleveland. It's a 3-hour drive. We were driving. The game that my daughter was going to play was at 8 p.m. You can start eating at 7:43. There's no way on earth she's going to eat a huge meal right before a soccer game, plus warm-ups, plus all that. We had to be there an hour early. She got there around 7 and was warming up. 7:43, her coach pulled her over and said, hey, you can eat. You don't want to be glycogen depleted. We've been fasting for like 14, 15 hours. You don't want to be glycogen depleted going into a game or dehydrated or any of that stuff. Now, you can play, and plenty of athletes do that. But in this scenario, We're talking about a 13, 14-year-old athlete. You don't have to fast if you're going to play a sport and you've been traveling 3 hours. I get that, but my athlete wanted to. So what is the fastest way to get a ton of sugar into your body? You can go drink a bunch of Gatorade, but it's not enough sugar. It's a lot of hydration, but it's not enough sugar. But a handful of gummies or these amazing nerdy, nerd crunchy, chewy, whatever these things are that are amazing, you can go eat these. And it's super easy on your stomach. It's not dairy, so it won't give you an upset stomach. A lot of people get upset stomach from dairy, especially that late in the day when the lactose intolerance usually most people goes up. So in this scenario, taking a bunch of nerds, which are basically just dumping a bunch of sugar in your mouth, drinking some Gatorade with it, which has obviously salt, potassium, hydration, you haven't eaten or drank all day. That is a perfect scenario where a tool like pure sugar, where some people think it's not always healthy, can be absolutely the best option in that scenario. It doesn't fill you up. You're not going to feel bloated or, full. You're going to be able to eat it and you will be fine. So I'm glad that Paul has moderated his views in that sense. And he's been doing it for a while. People are like, oh my God, you're eating ice cream. If you watch his stuff, he's been eating fruit and sugar more. He's been adding carbohydrates. The other video that we played was about long-term ketosis. Now he talks about the kidney function and testosterone and how you can't get enough minerals and all that. Absolutely fine. I'm not a nephrologist, so I won't comment on that. I am absolutely an internal medicine physician. All cardiologists are also board certified internists, so we know a little bit about this, but we haven't been practicing it that long. So I'm not going to dive deep into the renal stuff, but absolutely, you can use ketosis short term. Plenty of my patients do it. If you read my book, Actual Weight Loss, there's a whole section on ketosis and all these restrictive diets. In fact, the whole point of my book is to not do restrictive diets. And in fact, do a more balanced kind of approach. And what Paul is doing, I feel, minus some of the other carbohydrate, vegetable stuff, what I feel is a more balanced diet. He's eating meats. Now, I wish he would eat leaner meats. I wish he would eat fish. I don't remember if he eats fish or not. He seems to be more of an organ red meat kind of guy. And we know the data on organs and red meat, no, maybe not organs, but definitely red meat with higher saturated fat absolutely raises your LDL cholesterol and apolipoprotein B particles. And we know that causes heart disease. So him and I did a long topic on this. You can go watch that interview. I think he titled it Cardiologist, Carnivore, or something like that. But it's on his YouTube channel. You can go watch it. But put that aside. Put the red meat stuff aside. He's eating more fruits. He's eating sugar, pure sugar in the form of honey, which is fine. I have honeybees. We eat honey. He eats eggs. I have chickens. We eat eggs. So I'm telling you, I'm not a absolutist or a fundamentalist when it comes to diet. I agree that people can adopt almost any diet to a heart-healthy diet. Even keto, it's a little harder. Keto and carnivore is a little bit harder to make it heart-healthy. If you can find a way, and I know there are some plant-based keto people, I get that. And if you can keep saturated fat down, you could make it heart-healthy. Now, he was saying that when he was doing it long-term, he noticed mineral deficiencies, testosterone go down, all kinds of stuff that he just didn't like the way he felt. And we know, for example, in athletes, if you don't get enough carbs, like my athlete, my soccer player in this example, if you don't get enough carbs, your athletic performance is going to be lower. Now you're going to say, well, Dr. Alla, what about this study? What about this athlete? What about that? Yes, there are outliers. There are people who don't eat, carbs at all and have amazing athletic performance. Absolutely, definitely a possibility, but that doesn't make it optimal for the vast majority of people. I'm not going to starve my children of sugar and then go have them play sports for, 8 hours a day in 95-degree weather without refueling in between and staying hydrated and all that. It's not optimal. Just because it's humanly possible. Ketosis is an adaptive mechanism to when humans had sparsely any food or any carbs or what have you, and they only could find a few things to eat. It's an adaptive mechanism that humans have. That doesn't make it optimal for life. It doesn't make it something you should do forever. So I don't recommend that people do that forever. In my book, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, it's called Actual Weight Loss, and go grab it. It's available pretty much anywhere you can buy books, dralla.net/book if you want. Definitely, I'm anti-restrictive diets and I'm anti-fad diets and I'm anti you can only eat one thing or take out everything except this or just remove this whole macronutrient. You can do that. And we go over that in my book. You can absolutely eat that way if you want to. There are people who do intermittent fasting. There are people who, fast for 3 days. There are people who don't eat carbs. People who don't eat fat. People who do low this, low that, high this. if you look at the data, and it's on my book, I have all the studies and the research there. If you go to my blog, links are below. You can read all the data as well, and live links to all the studies. You can go to PubMed, like, this study didn't say that. Go click on it. Go read it for yourself. Absolutely. Let's talk about this. But definitely, we go over all the data on all the studies. If you are able to stick to a certain diet and lose weight and improve your metabolic health, improve your diabetes, hypertension, cholesterol, what have you, all of your cardiovascular, cardiometabolic, diabetes markers, you will get healthier. No question about it. The more of these satiety type foods like fruits, vegetables, large volume, low calorie type foods you eat, the better. Meat and protein is one of them. It's a very high satiety index, so highly recommend that. But definitely you want to stay within the kind of heart healthy limits. Can you do low carb? Can you do low carb and it be heart unhealthy? Yeah. Can you do keto and have it unhealthy? Yeah. There are lots of ways to be healthy or unhealthy. And we are trying to, without food phobias and all these like restrictions, try to make it so that you can follow a diet that you enjoy, that you can stick to, but it is still heart healthy. Now, I will commend Paul on, just being honest. Hey, this is how I eat now. No big deal. He has evolved. He was more strict in eating only meat and animals head to toe or nose to tail or whatever it was. But now he's like, hey, I eat some honey. I eat some fruit. I eat ice cream. I eat what have you. I don't see a problem with that. Now you guys can say, well, he's just following the money. I don't know that there's money in eating a balanced diet. I preach a balanced diet. I'm not that popular. So there's no money in following a more normal standard, heart healthy diet. But there are lots of money in extreme diets. Don't ever eat this. Don't ever eat that. Don't eat all these things. So congratulations, Paul. I'm glad you have changed your views and evolved your diet. I think that's fantastic. If you guys want more stuff like this, follow me, obviously, and we'll catch you in the next episode.